girlies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup Misfit. Now, if you watched my comeback video, my little Let's Chat video, I had talked about some updates with projects and what I was kind of thinking about doing for the new year. And jumping in on new projects was not really on my radar until I came across a couple of them. So clearly you guys can see by the thumbnail and the title of this video, but I am joining a brand new project from the Pantastic ladies. This is the Beauty and the Beast project pan. Now, like I said, it was not on my radar to start jumping into new projects, especially at the end of this year. But when I saw this one, I was like, oh boy, I had to jump in on it. Now, little side note, I've never actually seen Beauty and the Beast. I know. So I'm going to make it a goal for myself to make sure I watch the video before the end of this project. So this starts on November 13th of 2024 and goes up until November 13th of 2025. So I have 1 year to watch Beauty and the Beast. I will just watch the original Disney cartoon, and maybe if I end up getting around to it, I will watch the live action one that came out a few years ago, but I'm not going to pressure myself into that one. So the way that this project works, it was created by Rain O'Brien, like I said, in the Pantastic ladies, and it's just a prompt-based project. So it is a year long, and you can either roll in as many prompts as you want, do as many, however you want to do it. So I'm going to try and do this the same way that I had attempted to do Pans of Life, which was just work on the first few prompts at a time. And then when I roll one out, I will roll in the next prompt. So I'm going to work on prompts 1, 2, and 3. And let's get into what those are. I actually did, just for right now, write them down really quickly in this notebook. I may transfer things over to another one later. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I'm excited to actually dig into my collection a little bit more, see what there is that I can work on. And I've pulled a couple of things that I haven't quite pulled into projects before, as far as I'm aware, or if I did, it was a while back. So let's get into it. So for the very first prompt, that is rose. So a flower in the packaging, whether it's an embossment, a scent, something along those lines. And what I decided to go with is my Sigma Corta Rosa palette. Now, don't mind the discoloration. It was sitting in the sun before I had moved my palettes around, so some of the top got discolored. But this is what my palette's looking like. So this shade that's here, that's almost completely finished, I've been using this to set my lids. I haven't actually reached for it for a while. I do need to repress it, and then I will completely finish that up. But what my goal is, I think, is I just want to focus in on this shade right here, which actually does also have a rose flowered embossment. There is, everything's falling out of here. There's the roses on the packaging, but I want to focus in on this shade. And because the only shade I've actually used in this palette is this one, I just want to get a better idea of how I feel about that shade in particular. If I reach for other shades in this palette, cool, but I think I just want to try and get some good use on this. I'm debating whether I want to try and wear away the embossment or if I should just throw a usage goal onto this. Maybe what I'll do is I will try and wear away the embossment. If for some reason I do not end up liking the shadow, then I will change it up. But for now, I'm just going to try and focus in and wear away the embossment. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. More or less, it's probably going to be the center of the pan, and that's fine with me. As long as a part of it is worn away to a decent amount, then I will be good with that. So we're gonna have to see how long this takes. It does look like a very easy transition shade for me. So I'm hoping that I can use it a lot in that way, maybe even something really light all over the lid and then pair a shimmer with it. I've been doing that a little bit lately, so I'm actually excited to dip into this palette just a little bit more. Next, number 2 is the prompt Belle. So something that's different in your collection. Now, I did have a prompt like this. I believe it's #BeautyChest, and I had something that's unique to your collection. For that one, I had rolled in my Urban Decay eyeliner because it was a purple. It was the shade Rockstar, but I didn't want to do the same thing. So I really took a look, and I'm not quite sure why I didn't pull this in for that before, but I'm at least able to do it now. I'm going to pull in my Sugar Drizzle Sugar Dreams palette, and the only reason why this is different to my collection is because it's my only all shimmer palette. I usually don't go for all shimmers. I need a few mattes, preferably like half and half is good, maybe like, you know, 1 or 2 extra shimmers opposed to a matte, depending on how many shades are in the palette. I love shimmers, don't get me wrong, but I do need my mattes. I love my mattes as well. So an all shimmer palette is very, very rare for me to actually pick one up. The only reason I did was because every shade in here, minus maybe this middle one, I fell in love with when I saw swatches, and it was just one that I felt like I really needed to have in my collection. And I have thoroughly enjoyed using it when I do reach for it. So what my goal is for this is I just want to use this, no pan left behind. So I want to reach for every shade in here one time. And this one, I believe I just said, is the only shade I've never used. So this is going to be interesting, whereas I know I'm going to love the rest of these. So I feel like it's going to be easy, but trying to figure out when and how and where to wear this shade is kind of what has held me off from using it this far. So if you have any ideas, let me know what you think. I will more than likely pair it with a matte. But if you have any ideas on how to use that, let me know, and I will take all of those into consideration and see what I can come up with. And then for prompt number 3, which is Ball, it is a blue or yellow product. So I really wasn't sure what I wanted to pull in for this, and I've really been debating using nail polish in any of my projects, even though I do my nails all of the time. And I know I briefly talked about this in my little update video, but what I decided to do is I'm going to try my very best, and I'm going to use blue nail polish. Now, this is just one of the many that I have. This is Board Meeting by Hollow Taco. It does not necessarily have to be this blue. I just pulled it in to show you guys, but I want to create a few blue nail polish looks. I just did these last night, and I was actually going to use a blue, but the nails that I had prior to that were like blue, purple, green, multi-chrome, so I skipped the blue this time around. But I want to try and use blue a couple of times. I know it's gonna happen. I love doing blue on my nails. I think it just looks so pretty. And it doesn't have to be this blue. I have a ton I can choose from. And I might use more than one. I might do a Skittle Mani where you're using more than just one shade on each nail. I might use 2 or 3, do up a couple different looks like that. But I'm excited to try and see how many blue looks I can come up with, or what I just end up coming up with while I do my nails. So this was really the only thing that I could think of, opposed to like a blue eyeshadow, which I'm not really into using. I'm having a hard time. Like, I wanted to try and break out of my comfort zone this past year, and I don't think I've really quite done that, especially when it comes to like super bright colors, like not even bright, but like blues and greens in my eyes. I still tend to steer away from a little bit. So trying to use a blue eyeshadow was probably just not in the cards for this prompt, for this project. But that's okay. My nails, like I said, they're never not done. You guys always see them in my videos. So you may see some blue nails over the next little while. I don't want to put a usage goal. I don't want to put a timeline necessarily, but if I can do like a few of them over the next few months, then I'll be cool with that. If I do them all, one after another back to back, then that's even better, and I'll just roll it out sooner than later. But when I feel like I've had a good amount or a decent amount of blue nail looks over probably the next couple of months or so, then maybe at that point I will roll it out. So those are the 3 prompts that I'm rolling in right now. So once I have completely finished off one of these prompts, or maybe even more than one if I get lucky, I will roll in the next few, so they will be in numerical order until I have rolled in every prompt. And like I said, this goes until November 13th of 2025. So if you are a part of the Pantastic ladies and you saw this, let me know, and I will love to come and check yours out. And that is it for now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.